everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Diane Deziel, and before to talk about what we're doing today, I want to wish you all a happy new year for 2021. In today's video, we're going to do a bodice. It's a style from my little booklet that I offer you in my Etsy boutique. We'll be doing a pivoting. It's a simple pivoting, and it's two variations. We'll do the one where we pivot darts in the armhole and the other one where we pivot into the side seam. They're the pivoting that we use the most often, not for the style, but at the contrary, we want to hide the dart, and those two placements are where the dart is less apparent. Before to start, just like I did with the skirt, I wanted to show you that when I did study, we used to do every single style in class, full size, and as homework to do the notebook. We did it in quarter scale, so I have everything, the plan, the development if there was development, and also the final pattern piece. For today's exercise, since it's the first pivoting, I decide to move only one of the darts. We'll be moving the shoulder dart, send it for the first one at the side seam, and for the B style, we'll send it at the armhole. And again, you have that detail very often on shirt that you're wearing, and you're going to see these darts, especially if the shirt that you have or the top has a good fit. The first one, I said we're pivoting the dart on the side seam. Where on the side seam, it's really matter of style. It's up to you. We're not even going to talk about a measurement. You just decide where you want it and you do a little mark. When you start pivoting, I suggest you keep paper all around because you don't know exactly where it's going to go, the bodice block. And one thing that we could say for sure is where to start tracing. It could be at two different places, or on one side of the dart that we want to transfer, or where we want to transfer it. For this one, I'm going to start tracing where I want my dart to go, and I'm going to trace towards the bottom because this is the largest area that I don't want it to move. Now I'm at the dart and I'm going to trace the dart, the notches and the jog, because for this first pivoting, I'm going to keep the waist dart as it is. And you finish at the first notch of the shoulder dart. Next, we're going to hold the pivot and bring the second notch of the shoulder dart over the first one. So we close the dart. Then we continue the tracing from that notch, continue all the way to the mark that we did on the side seam. Before to remove the block, we're going to make sure that we indicate the pivot. Now, if you notice, we start where we want the dart to be, and we trace like clockwise. We came back where we start. Now we finished the pivoting. We're going to find the pivot for each one of these darts. We have to separate them. Just like we did last time with the block, we're going to find the middle of the side dart and the middle of the waist dart. Then you're going to trace a dotted line from the original pivot to the center of the waist dart, and same thing from the original pivot to the halfway on the side seam dart. Now we're going to make a pivot for each dart. The one for the waist dart, we're going to move it down about 2 centimeters or 3/4 of an inch. For the side dart, we could do the minimum, that would be 2 centimeters or 3/4 of an inch. But for this one, I want to double that measurement, so I'll do it 4 cm or 1.5 inches. Now we're going to trace the new dart, touching the new pivot on the side seam and the one for the waist dart. Now what we're missing is a punch hole punch hole is the reference that you're going to put on the fabric. That punch hole should be inside the dart. The measurement is 1 centimeter or 3/8 of an inch for both darts. Now that we don't have dart at the shoulder anymore, you can eliminate the shoulder notch. Now, since my seam allowance are not there yet, but I still have a little work to do, I cut, keeping a distance all around, because what I need to do now is to find the jug of my dart. For the horizontal dart, the first line to fold would be the bottom one. Remember that when you fold, you could just go further, no problem. It's going to make your life easier. Then hold your new pivot or make it break there and bring the bottom line over the top one. Now, I hope you could see that the line is a little broken at the dart area, and it's normal. It's just because we did move the pivot. So you could leave it like that. It's perfect. You could also make it a straight line, but you have to be conscious that if you do make a straight line, it's going to get a little shorter than the original. So I'm going to suggest a third thing. It's just to use your French curve and soften a tiny little bit the line before tracing your jug. Now we could trace to get the jug. Like I was saying in my previous video, we should always double check to see if the jug is okay. So we will fold the waist dart even if it just move a tiny little bit and the dart or the center of the dart is parallel to the center front. We're still going to do it. We first fold the side that is closer to the center front. Then we bring the first side over the second one. My style 201A is finished. Now we're ready for the second style, the one where we transfer or pivot the shoulder dart into the armhole. I recommend not to use the shoulder notch. Keep the notch for the purpose it has. It's to match the sleeve. For the dart, we'll pivot or a little below or a little higher than the notch. So the first thing is to do a little reference. Again, I'm not giving measurement because it's not necessary. It's a matter of taste. For this one, it's exactly the same thing. It's just at a different place. So we're going to start tracing where I want my dart to be. I'm going to trace clockwise until the first side of the dart. Then again, the same thing, hold the pivot and bring the second notch of the shoulder dart over the first one. Then again, same direction from this notch all the way to the starting point. Remember to indicate your pivot. Same thing again, we find the center of each one of the dart. Now I stop just to mention that a same dart, it's going to have different measurement depending where it is on the contour. The longer is the dart, the larger or the longer is going to be the value, and the shorter is the dart, the smaller the measurement is going to be. Once you have the center of both darts, you could connect with a dotted line to the original pivot. Now we move the pivots or we separate them. I'm going to start with the waist dart and I'm going to do as usual, move it down 2 centimeters or 3/4 of an inch. For the armhole dart, I'm going to do just like I did for the last style. So 4 centimeters or 1.5 inches. Now we're going to trace the new darts. For the armhole dart, it's like the side seam dart, it's more horizontal. So we're going to start folding the bottom line. Then you hold the pivot and bring the bottom line over the top one. Then you're ready to trace your jog. Here, just notice that the jog goes inside the dart and it's normal like that. We close the waist dart. First side is the one that is closer to center front. Then just trace to verify your jog. For this one again, since we don't have shoulder dart anymore, I'm just going to erase my notch. Now the last little thing to do, as usual, we have to put the punch holes and we'll place them at the same distance, so 1 centimeter or 3/8 of an inch inside each one of the dart. That's it, we'll complete the two styles for today, the 201A and 201B. The only thing I didn't mention, and I think you must know by now, that we do need notches for each one of the darts. So that's the last thing that you have to do on the pattern before adding your seam allowance. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you didn't do it yet. And I see you next time.